What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellowshow. Tonight, Tuesday night live hangout. We're joined by the great Drake Sanford. We had a crazy day. It's technically the trade deadline is in 2 days, but we saw. I think it's going to be the biggest probably headline of this year's trade deadline happened today. With that though, Drake, welcome to the show. How are we doing, man?
Doing great, man. We could have started this show at like 11 this morning and just
even
kept going.
Even technically, the Cavaliers are the ones that kicked they got the ball rolling. And I don't know if we want to talk about I guess we can get the Cavs out of the way because they technically were the team that made the first big trade. Was that yesterday or the day before? I think it was Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So let's get rid of that one because I think people kind of forget that one. That one's a sneaky one, and I think it was funny because like in our group chat, you were like, I don't expect them to shake up this Cavs team. They like what they got, and then all of a sudden you're going to add a pretty big playmaker in Caris LeVert. So tell us what we can expect with the Cavaliers and Caris LeVert sprinkled in now.
Well, Caris fills that missing piece that they've been trying to use Okoro and Goodwin, and they've had some success, but they're missing Sexton this year, and Caris can come in, attack the rim. I'm not stoked about his 3-point percentage, but if he's not taking threes, that's fine. I, of course, watched him practice today for the Cavs, and, looks like he fits in well. They weren't going to just bring in any guy, like I had told you and John. I was like, I don't know if a trade happens because,
very specific.
This team isn't the most talented team in the league. They have some really talented young players, and it's all meshing and stuff. But a big part of their success is how well they play together and how well they all get along and how everyone's kind of gelling. They brought in Rondo, and Rondo's talking up this team. So that's a big part of it. So that was kind of my thoughts. But, Caris isn't a guy that's going to come in and take over a locker room. He's going to follow the lead.
My initial thought was just thinking for fantasy, is this hurts Lauri Markkanen probably? This is a guy that's probably going to compete with him for minutes, or do you think there's room for both of these guys to hit 30-plus minutes?
This hurts probably your Goodwins, your Okoro, and your Chettys.
Okay.
Markkanen's still going to play probably the 3, and they're going to use LeVert at the 2.
The 2, okay.
That's what they're missing. They have Garland. Garland's a 1. They're missing the 2. So that's his role.
Okay, excellent. And I just looked at LeVert's numbers over the last few games. Dude puts up points.
Yeah.
I didn't see the sneaky 42 here, but damn. You're just talking about a lengthy 2. I think he's what, 6'6", 6'7", maybe.
Yeah, 6'5", 6'6", right in there.
Yeah, so you're adding a lot of height to this lineup now, which is what they need, and it's going to push Goodwin, like you said, and a couple other players into the peripheral. But as far as the Cavs go, this is exciting, man. This is going to put them probably. We've been kind of saying that they're kind of a lock for that top 6 now. There's kind of almost no way where we see them falling down into the play.
I think they probably stay where they're, that 4-5 range.
Right.
I think that's their range. I assume the Heat and the Bucks stay at the top, but look how close that is.
Yeah, it's really no difference from 1 to 5 at this moment right now. And then teams like the Nets, of course, when they get healthy, they'll be fine. There's a lot of Harden trade rumors and things going on right now. I don't know what to believe with that. But I would expect the Nets to kind of creep back in there. But interesting that the
Celtics
Raptors
are coming too. Look at that 5-game win streak.
Raptors and the Celtics both playing good football. A 6 and a 5-game win streak the last
so you
handful
assume
of games.
Those are probably playoff teams. It's going to be a fun stretch here for the East, I think.
And Charlotte's interesting because Charlotte took a step back over the last week or so. I was watching that Hawks game when they beat the Suns. That was impressive. Can't forget about the Hawks. They still have a lot of depth and talent. The Wizards. I was talking about how exciting the Wizards were last week, but I think with no Beal, we're probably not going to expect them to do much of anything. But the East, kind of the top 10 taking some form here. But with that being said, did you have any final thoughts on the Cavaliers? This is exciting. I just think as soon as they start getting, we still don't know when we're getting Markkanen back. It sounds like Darius Garland's back soon.
Garland was full practicing today, so he'll be back.
So listed as Q for tomorrow night, so hopefully we can get him back. I don't know.
But Markkanen, he's just kind of started light duty. They're going to slow roll Markkanen.
So he's still out for tomorrow night. So maybe post All-Star week here.
Yeah.
We'll see something here. But very exciting times for the Cavaliers. And then I don't know which trade should we talk about first? Should we go in chronological order? Should we get the CJ McCollum Portland Trailblazers? It was kind of funny. My initial thought when I saw this trade come through, and then we're speculating on where Dane's going to go, is one of our first shows of the season. We kind of just ripped apart the Blazers early in the show, and it's looking like they are literally ripping it apart right now. This is a complete tear down and burn it to the ground, rebuild. They're collecting as much resources for the future as they can, and I kind of want to just take a look and see what is left for this. I don't even know. There's maybe 3 or 4 players that we can recognize here. McCollum, again, they haven't updated it here on ESPN, but McCollum to the New Orleans Pelicans, and who else was moved? I can't remember.
It was McCollum and
I'm looking for the main piece here. The Pelicans threw a bunch of players at them. So here's the deal. The Trailblazers are finalizing a deal that would send CJ McCollum, Larry Nance, and Tony Snell, so 3 pieces from the Trailblazers to receive Josh Hart, who had been playing really well, Tomas Satoransky, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who I like, is an interesting guy. I don't know who Didi Lozada is, protected first, and 2 future seconds. So if you're the Trailblazers, like what did they win? What did they get out of this?
The big thing is that first is only top 4 protected.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's still a good chance that the Pelicans are a lottery team.
Mm-hmm.
Some things don't go right, so that's a big part of it. And they retained their own first in all of this. Mm-hmm. So they're looking at 2 potential lottery picks to just kind of rebuild this. And I was looking at some mock drafts today, and it was just based, like I told you, like they were updating it based on trades and stuff.
Yep.
And it had them taking, was it Ty Washington out of Kentucky? And then they had a pick right after it. I don't remember who it was, but it was pretty nice looking. Kind of return to build around.
So I like using
Murray. It was Keegan Murray and Ty Washington, who the draft I looked at.
So at the moment, this is nice. Potentially 2. It sounds like 2 top 10 picks, and the upside of getting a lottery pick in there in the top 5 would be.
They could end up with 1.
Right. So lots to they position themselves well, and again 2 future seconds. But just as far as players that are expecting to sit around, like Josh Hart had been playing some of his best ball. I don't know if you've looked at his numbers of late here. Let me actually go to the Pelicans.
I think what the Blazers have to do though is that they got to move Dame before Thursday.
Yes. But this is what the Trailblazers are getting, a high efficiency player. These are Josh Hart's numbers for the last month or so. He was averaging in the upper 30 minutes. He's a double kind of guy. Good effort on the defense with the steals and the assists. So they're getting a fun player here. I'm not sure how old Josh Hart is.
He's pretty young.
Check here. 26.
Hart and Harvey Simmons.
26. So this is a player that you could potentially keep around and just kind of have, just help rebuild this team and help them get reestablished with these young draft picks coming in. Who else could? I like Alexander Walker. I think that's a player that can stick around on this team. I think Satoransky is just a guy, and I don't know anything about Lozada. Do you?
I've never heard of that man.
Never heard of him. So at least Hart and Alexander Walker have a future potentially with the team, and Satoransky, someone that could just be a floor general for a year or 2 for them. But it's all about those picks. And then I'm a Larry Nance. I think you're a Larry Nance fan. This is for the Pelicans. This is fantastic. I think this it didn't really cost them a lot to get McCollum and Larry Nance on the team. Tony Snell's kind of whatever. But at this point, you're getting a shooter and you're getting a really good depth big that I think can help this team. So let's just take a peek here. Of course, we're kind of talking in our group chat here. You're going to get Brandon Ingram at the point here, basically, and surrounded by Valanciunas. You're going to have who else is on this? Potential Zion at some point here. And then are we missing somebody from this?
Well,
I guess McCollum's in there.
McCollum, Ingram, Graham, Valanciunas, some fun depth there actually with Temple and Jackson Hayes. You know, that's.
Well, Hayes, I don't know if you've seen the Hayes numbers the last few games, but he starting to pop off. And I mean, it's strictly because some of the other guys are out, like Willie Hernan-Gomez is out. I think he's their traditional backup center. But Jackson Hayes with just
Hayes brings a different thing than Hernan-Gomez.
Yeah.
So. It's not a bad, but you need Zion back. Otherwise.
Right. Otherwise, it's for naught.
Yeah.
But either way, like I think this move, even factoring in, say Zion doesn't play, this kind of locks them in to the play-in tournament. So that it's going to be interesting for these guys. We'll see.
And then they can build around it. You know, they can add the necessary pieces, make their moves in the off season. But that's a core.
That's what I like too. Is you now have 2.5 months to see how this team wants to work and play together and see what works. And then you can find the complementary pieces. And I don't know. I just want to shout out, because I don't get to shout out much. Georgia Tech, Jose Alvarado is a guy here who's been getting the backup minutes. And to be fair, he's kind of been playing just as good, if not better, than Devontae Graham over the last handful of games. He's been kind of spotty. I did start him randomly in a couple of nights, but he's a player here who had been playing some good minutes. But Georgia Tech player, I just want to shout out Jose Alvarado as a rookie. Kind of a fun piece there. But any update on Zion? Are we going to see him at any point anytime soon? The ESPN doesn't offer us anything.
The last update I saw was in like mid-January, and he's still training outside of being with the Pelicans.
So like maybe March? Like there's really no news on him. The last update here is who knows? So we'll see. But I mean, if you're going to splash and make a move for McCollum, that means we're probably going to see him at some point this year. I would hope so, unless
you would think so. And actually, the Pelicans have been pretty like middle of the road team since they started out, like what, 3-16 or something, 3-13, like that.
Yeah, they've
been over 500 since.
Yeah. So, like, I wish I could filter by like the last like 30 games or something. They've probably been a team that's kind of hovering around average. Yeah. And you can see that over the last 10 days, last 10 games, 5-5. That's kind of on par with like a Clippers team. That's probably
3-game win streak right now. I mean,
so starting to figure things out. And I think just with today's things, like the Kings, I'm not really sure what the Kings are going to be doing here. As far as the Spurs, the Blazers are pretty much taking themselves out. It seems like the Pelicans, like it's their spot to prove themselves and lock down that 10 spot. They're still 4.5, 5 games behind the Lakers here, but it looks like they're going to secure themselves. Before, I guess we'll talk about the Kings later. Should we talk about I guess the other side of this real quick? Again, looking at is Damian Lillard? Is he a Philadelphia Sixer? What are our thoughts on Damian?
That's what makes sense. I mean, for both parties here, you gotta move on. I mean, this is a rough roster. It's kind of disrespectful. Oh, Trailblazers. So that's 13, 6 weeks. So he's kind of.
This puts him back around March.
Yeah. I think you gotta move Dame. As far as if they will, I don't know. But in my opinion, I think this is a full rebuild. You got, a couple of young pieces, Greg Brown, you got Anfree, Nurkic probably has to get moved, right?
Well, what was the deal the other day? They did another move before where they got Bledsoe, or am I thinking something different here?
Yeah, that was Bledsoe and Norman Powell, a guy that just signed a long-term contract with them. So the writing's on the wall here. You got rid of
Covington, Robert Covington as well.
Yes, Covington too. So
they acquired Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and I can't remember who else.
It was mostly picks. Like I think they got
might have been maybe Zeller. I don't know. I for sure know it was Winslow who was on the guy. I guess the guys here pictured in blue.
Yeah, because that's there's Winslow and Bledsoe for sure.
Yeah. So good move for the Clippers. I guess we kind of breezed over that, but you're talking about the Clippers adding some nice depth pieces here. Let's actually look at them real quick too. we're not expecting the Clippers to do much, but adding Powell and Covington, these are really good players for them. And over the last 7 days, I don't know how many games have we seen with these guys. It's just been one game, but Norman Powell dropped 28. This is the player I think he's on your team for fantasy, and then Covington in this game, he's a guy that's just gonna be your kind of 6th, 7th man off the bench, play good defense and get you some points as well. But I like this. Any idea when Paul George is coming back? Have you heard anything?
I don't know if they think he will.
So this is February 3rd. He'll likely be out through the All-Star break here. So out for a few more weeks yet, but it sounds like there's some hope here that he could be coming back in March. You add Paul George to this mess, and you're talking about a Clippers team sitting at the 8th seed. They just added 2 scorers to their team that they're probably going to play more like a 4 or 5 seed. Interesting, just something to keep an eye on, I think there. But I want to talk about the most interesting trade of the day that I thought. The Pacers, man. What is the future of this Pacers team? Let's actually go here. I'm going to see. Maybe I got to hit back. But the biggest trade of the day, the Pacers trading their star player, Domantas Sabonis here. Let me see if I can find – I'm looking for, like, the headline here. Go to transactions. So, huge deal. Pacers and the Kings. Domantas Sabonis and Tyrese Halliburton are kind of the corner pieces of it. But the Pacers are getting Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton. That's a really fun, interesting young core to build around for the future here. But their depth is gone at the big position. So we have to see what they're going to do about Miles Turner, who's probably a guy that's going to be a hot name over the next couple of days. But what are your initial reactions here with Sabonis now on the Kings? Is who won? Like, what just initial thoughts on this deal?
I don't know if anyone won. It's been a rumor that the Pacers were shopping Sabonis. I don't know why, but that's just what was going on. It apparently wasn't working out. So the Pacers probably did the best that they could to get a decent return, and you got Halliburton and Hield. That's pretty great. I mean, even Halliburton to think of. They shed some contract with Lamb and Holiday, and it's a big move. I mean, Sabonis is kind of in that next tier of players, probably above Halliburton and Hield. Former All-Star. I don't think he's on the team this year, but he's been injured a little. So the Pacers are going a different direction. I mean, so now you have Duarte and Halliburton and Hield. And, maybe they end up keeping Turner. Maybe Turner starts starting. I don't know. I think he's probably a guy that gets moved. TJ Warren, if he comes back. Brogdon. Rubio's probably a buyout type thing. He's out for the year. So.
You're looking at a super guard-heavy team. You got Brogdon, Halliburton. Rubio was part of the LeVert deal, but you got Rubio, Buddy Hield, Duarte, TJ McConnell still hanging around here. A ton of really good guard play here. And then after that, like what are we doing here for our bigs? Is there a timetable on Miles Turner coming back anytime soon? Stress reaction in his left foot and will be re-examined in 2 weeks. This was on January 18th, so we are we're within that 2 to 3 week window where we need to hear some things. So I'm wondering if teams are calling about that injury and seeing what's going on with that left foot. A team like the Bucks would be lucky to get a guy like Miles Turner. I don't know if they have the resources to do it, but I'm sure Turner and people are looking at this and thinking, what's going on here? We should call him and see what's going on. But for fantasy, I mean, what's going? Like, look at all these so many red O's up here. I really don't even know how to sort this mess out because Brogdon's got an Achilles. We don't know when he is coming back. They've been saying he's closer and closer to returning, but we still haven't seen anything. So for the time being, like the starters in Indy, you're going to see Tyrese. You're going to probably see Buddy Hield. You're going to maybe see Duarte. You're looking at a 3-guard lineup and a couple random bigs every other night until Turner returns. It's gonna be ugly.
It's a mess, but good for them. They have the pieces now. Again, this is a team that's looking at a lottery pick. This is a pretty fun draft. I like pretty much 1 through 10 in this draft. So
they're looking at a potential lottery pick here.
Jalen Duren is going to be a
first.
lottery pick too. He's a center from Memphis, but
down here, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just fun there.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I'm like arguing who's not in the top is a good thing. But the top 3 are kind of who the top 3 are. Jabari. Do we have a second to talk about the draft?
Yeah, go ahead. I really don't know too much about these guys just yet. What can you enlighten us on?
So Jabari is kind of taking over like the 1 spot, but it's still, the 1 through 3 is pretty similar. Chet's been the better performer. Jabari doesn't even start all the time on Auburn, which is impressive as a freshman. Chet, Banchero, I mean, those are going to be the 3 guys, but I don't think you can miss with any of these. Chet's super fun player. He's probably the most fascinating. Jabari's going to have instant success, and probably Banchero. So
it's kind of cool that the top 3 players are all kind of the same position, give or take a couple inches of height. But it looks like, Holmgren, he's the one guy that I've seen play. I've seen Gonzaga play this year. He's averaging 20 points and 13 boards. You look at the assists and the blocks there too; those kind of all stick out. He's just lighting up the green. So I like Holmgren. I guess I would need to see Jabari Smith play. Is he raw? Is he someone that's just got untapped potential yet, or is he ready to just plug in and play?
I think he's ready to plug in and play.
Awesome.
That just speaks to Auburn's depth, and
he's got the build too. Yeah. He's Chet's a little skinny for a 7-footer under 200. That's a little thin.
Jaden Ivey is also a lot of fun, and he doesn't even start for Purdue.
He's 6'4", and he weighs more than Chet Holmgren. He's a little thick shooting guard that could be kind of fun here. So to be fair, I haven't even seen Wisconsin's Johnny Davis play. I haven't watched a lick of Wisconsin basketball yet, but I hear good things.
Keegan Murray's fun. Ty Washington is a guy that I think gets criminally underrated. That dude is.
That's just a fun name to say too. I want to root for him.
Like, just look at his highlights on YouTube when you're done.
Okay.
And Duren's kind of getting criminally underrated because Memphis has been bad this year. But
I don't want you to blow over this Keegan Murray here, who's got a bright, blazing green, 26.3 points per game, 10 rebounds. What can you, being the Iowa resident, what can you tell us about Keegan Murray?
Keegan Murray leads the nation in fast break points.
Okay.
This year, I don't know if you watch them. They're not like a Wisconsin or something. They're running gun. Mm-hmm. It's unless they're playing Wisconsin, they usually put in like 80 to 90 points.
So not Big Ten basketball. You're talking more ACC East Coast.
Yeah. Until they play those teams, and then they get
okay.
But Murray's fun. He's really advanced from last year. His brother's also on this team, but I was not very good. But
it's saying he's a sophomore and he's 21 and a half years old. Did he have a redshirt season?
I think he redshirted, yeah.
Okay.
But you love his size. He's more of a small forward. I wouldn't list him as
he's a 3. He's a 3.
Yeah, he's a 3, but long arms, and he can score the bucket from any point of the paint. So he's good.
Okay.
He'll have a good outlook, I think, on the NBA.
I'm intrigued. I am definitely. I got to start looking into some of these guys, but again, so much is going to change at this point. We're a long ways away here, and I think for me,
when it comes to some March Madness hero that just climbed the board for us.
Yep, and that's what for me, college basketball season. I really don't get into it until the conference tournaments. That's when I'm sitting at work and I'm watching college basketball. You got all the games on, and that's when I start to learn. Basically, I'm doing my bracket study at that time, but
I just like to keep up with the players.
Watch the development.
I couldn't tell you much about who's killing it or anything, but you keep up with the players, and then conference championship game or time. That's when we're digging in. We have the UW Milwaukee kid.
Yeah, Milwaukee's had a frustrating season. I think they're kind of protecting him because the team is so bad, and I almost want him to just come back for another year, and he could be a top 10 player. I've seen some of his stuff.
Team, like if anyone can tell him, but
right. But I think Milwaukee, like the rest of their team, is so bad that I think for for Baldwin, it would make sense for him to stay one more year, let them recruit a couple more players to help them be a better team, and then maybe figure it out. But he's too raw at
How
this point.
hilarious would it be if Baldwin just entered the transfer portal?
It could. Like someone's got to play him some minutes. So he's been inconsistent, and
I watched one game this was early on, and I maybe lasted 10 minutes. It was on ESPN for whatever reason. It was
they're probably
it was
playing
before a football game. It was before a Saturday football game, and it was bad. I was like, holy crap!
Well, I think they were playing Florida or something, and they're playing some kind of big team, and they just got housed,
dismantled.
And I think that's about the time that I was checking in on it too. And I just thought,
when you're there in Milwaukee, it was a big talk this year all over the state.
It was. We were supposed to, maybe be a team that could win the Horizon League, and then just to not even get a chance.
I don't think you guys are even top 10 in the Horizon League.
No idea. I'm gonna actually look it up right now. Let's look it up live and just for a joke.
And this is your school, right?
Yeah, alma mater. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're top 10 in the Horizon League. We're 9th. We slide in there. It's been a rough season. I think the last time these guys made the big dance was my senior year.
And they went kind of far, right?
No. They had a tough draw. I can't remember who they had to play, but it might have been like UConn or something. They were like a 15 seed, and they gave a 2-seed a run. But Baldwin doesn't even. He's only played in 10 games. He really hasn't played much. I don't know what's going on in terms of everything, but still.
I feel like he just was like, I can't play with these cats.
He didn't really know what he was signing up for. So they're just kind of keeping him fresh, I guess. I don't know.
81-45. That was the Florida game.
Yep, that's the one that I checked in, and I was like, we'll talk about that later, I guess. But anyways,
back to more trades.
Kings, and I'm thinking about the Kings and what this means. Getting Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb's a fine bench piece. Holiday's a fine bench piece, but I don't know why. I'm always fascinated with the Kings because we know they're not going to do the right thing. They always kind of have a couple good, fun players. I like the idea of a Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox core, but adding Sabonis.
Barnes has been killing it this year.
Barnes is definitely a good piece. He can take over at any point for scoring. He's had some big moments throughout the season here. He's definitely a player that is a staple for fantasy teams. But adding Sabonis, like Rashawn Holmes, Marvin Bagley, what do you do with some of these bigs here? I'm wondering.
Mitchell.
Yep.
If you can move Bagley because it just hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm saying that bad about either of these sides, but Bagley probably needs a new home, and he's got high potential.
It seems like they like Mitu Chimizi. They like him. So
Holmes is the starter. So.
Yeah, commit to the big lineup of Sabonis, Holmes. You got Fox and Barnes and Davion Mitchell. Like that's fun. Yeah. That's a fun looking 5.
And they're kind of deep.
Yeah, you can pull up some guys. You got Jeremy Lamb, Mo Harkless. Harkless is a guy that I talked about him on my waiver wire show because the last 3 games they kind of knew that they were going to be making a trade. They needed him, and he's been playing some big minutes, big fantasy points the last 3 games. So he's definitely a player that I want to highlight. But again, you mentioned Mitchell.
What if this team moves Bagley for like a Terrence Ross or something?
That
tries to make the play in this year.
Yeah, why get the fan base excited about Sabonis and Fox, and they get the team ready for next year. But I just wanted to shout out Davion Mitchell, Davion. He's only 13% rostered, guys, and they showed us that they want him. They want him to play. Look at the last 7-8 games here, over 30 minutes every game. The scoring's been up. This is the guy that they want, and especially because De'Aaron Fox hasn't been playing, Mitchell is looking like he's going to be a really fun 1-2 split there with De'Aaron Fox. But I'm just trying to see if there's anybody else on this team that's worth a damn at the moment right now. It's going to be Harkless and Jeremy Lamb getting some minutes with Justin Holiday. But I wouldn't be surprised
if the Kings.
Is this
a team that's this year? Like do they kind of just go all out like I just said, or is this a team that kind of built a core? They're one game out.
They're technically two games behind the Pelicans.
They're 2 games
so, but looking at what the Pelicans just did, like you're gonna have to make another like those what the Pelicans just did.
Yeah,
they're gonna be better.
They have
what the Kings just
they
did.
don't have their head coach. It's Alvin Gentry, who's probably a better coach than
the Kings are.
I can't see Gentry wanting to lose.
Yeah, but the Kings are still a move away.
Yeah,
I think.
I think you're
sure,
right.
They can chase the Pelicans down, but in order for them to free up something, they have to commit to a Holmes and Me Too or something and move Bagley.
And this is a futures move. I mean, you can't expect these guys the move the Cavs made is different because you're just adding one piece, and he's not a centerpiece, and he's a complementary, and it's his best role. You're in Sabonis. That's now the best player on this team. He's never played with any of these guys. I'm not sure if he knows any of these guys. It's.
Well, I think you're going to see Justin Holiday and Jeremy Lamb get worked into this pretty quickly. Like these guys, they're going to be.
We might not even see Sabonis for a while.
And he's been dealing with he had COVID that knocked him out, and then I think it was the ankle.
Yeah.
Can't even see it here. So he had the COVID protocols, and then I can't remember what was holding him out, unless they just
maybe they were holding out.
It was the ankle.
Yeah.
So the ankle plus the COVID, and they're kind of just like, yeah, we're gonna park you. But he had been playing great. He was a triple double.
He played their last game, so he's fine.
Yeah. So.
But he's never played with these guys, it's hard to expect someone to just jump in if they're going to be the main piece.
Well, to be fair, is Sabonis actually in a better situation here to produce for fantasy than he was in Indy? Because Indy had its Brogdon, he didn't have good guard play. He had Justin Holiday and Jeremy Lamb with him. He's actually bringing some of the best pieces to this team. So I think you could actually see him be a better statistical player. Probably a little bit more. I don't know about maybe the scoring takes.
I think there's better. Sadly, I can say maybe there's better pieces around him right here.
I think so. Especially you give him a wingman like Holmes, that's going to mimic the Turner that actually really helps him. Because if you can play big, Sabonis is going to be a nightmare mismatch. Because you're going to put your best big on Holmes, you're going to put him on Sabonis because Sabonis will just drive around it. So that's testing it. And then
Barnes is a good defensive player.
I like this. I like this 5, man.
We got to stop getting excited about the Kings. They're going to blow it.
But on paper, you're talking about a 2-guard system of Fox and Davion Mitchell, Barnes at the 3, Holmes at the 4/5.
I mean, look at their fantasy numbers.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Down to 19.7
with Holiday.
How many players is that deep?
And hold on, that's just on the season here. Terrence Davis is out for the year. He could have been a nice piece here, but you're going to see Lamb and Harkless here too. If I filtered by the last 7 days, you're going to see Mo Harkless, 35.7 points per game. Damian Jones has been getting some run for them as a backup center over the last few games. So there's some talent here. It's interesting. I'm going to say better situation than the Spurs. Than the Pacers and I guess the Spurs as well too. But did we cover all the major trades that we wanted to cover today? Where are we at? Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Well, what about what kind of rumors? What do you got for rumors? What can you tell me?
Like I said, Jeremiah Grant, they think that he's probably getting moved, and that's probably the next big move.
The last big
outside, move. Yeah, outside of that, like we said, I thought Dame's probably getting moved. Maybe a Dame Ben Simmons. How does that not make sense? But I don't know if it's there. There's the Harden talk, like you mentioned. So I don't, from what people have said, and this can change in a second. So who knows? Probably not any more big moves. There's going to be those side moves. Yep. Lakers and Jazz are hungry for some players.
Some of those 6th and 7th man moves, shooters, stuff like that. Just people that need pieces.
The Suns apparently really want Thaddeus Young. And
this is Malik Beasley's an interesting name because that's a bench scorer. I don't know if that's something that can make any sense. But I guess these are the big pieces: the Simmons, the Hardens, the Dame Lillards. What's Sexton's name doing floating around here? Are you buying any of that?
No, I don't think they move Sexton.
I'm just trying to look for any other names here. Malik Beasley's an interesting guy, just because I think he could be a fun bench piece for some people. Marcus Smart's name is on the list here. That's an interesting one. Don't know what Thad Young's doing on here, but he could be a fun piece for a team trying to win a championship.
Like I told you, the Suns apparently really want him.
Team that needs some, I'm thinking of Milwaukee Bucks because they need some toughness. They need some 4-5s that can play on the inside. So that's a fun one there. What else we got? Bradley Beal. I'm sorry about that. That sucks. The Wizards are going to be a team that's going to be falling out. I'm just looking for any more trade names, rumors.
So what's the deal with Harden and the Nets?
Is there like a stink between them, or is he just fed up with the bullshit of having to deal with Durant and Kyrie and then not really knowing what's going to happen each night? Like,
I don't know. Him and Durant are best friends. So
yes, I'm just looking at this link here. So what would that do? What would that do? So they want to get something for him. That's the thing. The Nets want to get rewarded for something. So what does Ben Simmons do for a team like the Nets?
Ben Simmons is perfect for the Nets because he's gonna not run into any issues with Durant and Kyrie shooting from the outside, and he's gonna be able to do his drives. And I mean, for the Sixers, he kind of had to be not only the distributor, but like the main scorer along with Embiid, and that required him shooting shots that he's not good at. So
it allows him to kind of fade into the background and just rack up some of the dirty numbers that
get his rebounds, get his assists.
He's going to be 12 to 14 points per night, but
be who he is.
He's going to put up 8, 9,
he's not
10.
a main scorer.
Okay, I like it. He's going to be a guy that helps, just kind of make things easier for
like
Kyrie and Harden,
isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's huge.
He's a 6'10" point guard.
Well, does that compliment Kyrie at all?
Kyrie's a scoring guard.
Okay, so Kyrie kind of becomes
he's
more
an excellent point guard. He's 6'11".
Off the ball too, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But Kyrie and LeBron brought the ball up.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Kyrie can and will. He's a great assist man, but he's best when he's scoring.
Okay, I can see that working. Harden playing on the Sixers is interesting to think about.
That's amazing. That's an amazing. That's what they're missing.
That is interesting.
We thought they should get McCollum or Dame.
Yeah, they needed a scorer. I like the fit with Buddy Hield there because I thought he would be the cheapest one to acquire. But man, that would. Whew. Dang, that to me that would ultimately make the Sixers the number 1 team in the East.
That's what I was. Yeah, if the Sixers can make a move, one of those guys between Harden or getting Dame, top team in the East.
What are them? I don't think the
Heat
Chicago.
The Heat.
I was just gonna say,
such a tough team in the playoffs.
What could you, if the Heat make any move, what do they need?
They don't need anything. They just need their
set
back.
And then I was gonna say the Bulls, they made all their moves already. Like I don't know if they can.
You put Miles Turner on the Heat, and he's rolling with Bam there.
So we still don't know what's up with Oladipo, one of the Morris twins. Looks like everyone's kind of back.
Yeah, they're back now. It's kind of like coming
rolling.
back to the break. I don't know when the last time Lowry played.
And a very deep team here. I'm just looking at the minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they have about a 10-man rotation here.
Duncan's probably the cutoff for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you can make like a huge move, why? And they're strapped for cap. You have Bam,
Gabe
Butler,
Vincent's been a good find for them. I don't know where Gabe Vincent came from, but he has been I don't know why he's even a free agent in fantasy right now. He's been playing in a 10
Because
or 12 man league.
I looked at him when he had his 8-point game, and I was like, Gaby.
I get it.
But Lowry's back now.
Lowry's back, yes.
So
interesting.
And Hero's still out. Hero comes back, then Gabe Vincent goes by.
Okay, this could be fun. It still feels, I don't know. I want to see something major happen, whether we get the Lillard or we get the Harden or we get the Simmons. We need one of them, I think, for me to be happy about this NBA trade deadline this year. I want to see one of those big moves, and then I don't know.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't one of those happen though? It makes no sense.
At least one of them needs to happen because there's just too much smoke. There's too much smoke there, and then you got the Cavs moves, man. I can't believe you got the Cavs moves that you needed to just be. It feels like the Cavaliers are kind of skating to where the puck's going to be. Like they anticipated the East getting some kind of big trades, and they went and got their guy. I think LeVert fits in really well. I'm excited to see that. I want to see, like, do the Cavs have any like NBA like or TNT games coming up where we can watch them nationally?
It would have to be probably changed.
Yeah, that's why. Like, is there, there you go. You got the ESPN Toronto Sunday nighter coming up, and that's it.
That's it. So
that is low. Maybe we see some flexing going on here after the All-Star break.
They'll flex some stuff.
Flex the Miami game. You know, Cavs, Miami, Chicago. There's some fun games that could be flexed here.
So I looked into buying League Pass the other day, and because Cleveland's stuff all goes through Bally Sports. Oh, I told you this. I told you and John this. It's all blacked out. Like,
I did see, like, on the Yahoo Sports app, like you can buy a game for like $5 if you just were like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this game. I'm watching this one. I think it's a $5 per game kind of thing. So if you didn't want the pass.
And last year around this time, didn't they give us some free ones?
Yeah, I don't know what that. I think that might have just been them kind of flexing, like, hey, like we got games, like, you know, come watch some free games. And it was also kind of like, it was also the kickoff of the new season kind of thing. I think that was kind of exciting around Christmas time and New Year's. So
Saturday, February 12th at Philadelphia.
Yeah,
flex should probably be a national televised game.
Flex that son of a B. And then I'm looking at, you have 4 games with Philadelphia. We better get at least one of those suckers on TV. And then I'm looking at Miami. You got Miami. You got Chicago on here a couple times. I don't know about the Denver game. Maybe that one could be kind of fun to flex. You got Dallas on the list here. Man, there's some fun games that should be considered flexing. So I hope the NBA looks into this. But I don't know, man. We're going on about 43 minutes here. Did you have any final thoughts on tonight's show? What are you excited about coming forward? We have when is the All-Star break here? When does that align for us?
This weekend.
When does it officially start? So Sunday the 20th?
Next weekend. Yeah.
We have a little bit of a schedule here. So next week we're still on a full.
I think it stops on Thursday.
So okay. So we're still gonna have maybe next week we do our award show. We'll sync it up with John. We'll do our half season award show. We'll look at some of that stuff. That could be kind of fun. But anything you're looking forward to for the rest of the week?
I'm looking forward to Wednesday's game for the Cavs. I'm going to try to figure out a way to watch it, whatever that requires, like some type of PayPal scam or, Yahoo, whatever. But looking forward to seeing the next Cavs game because the last one had me super excited. I think I shared some highlights with the boys here. Took down the Pacers, and they basically made that LeVert trade like in the building.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Cleveland. It was like
they did the handshake.
Come here, guy.
You're coming.
You're here now.
Yep.
So they made that trade without really giving up anything.
Okay.
Because Rubio was a 1-year contract, and he's out for the season. Loved what he did. Hope he can come back next year, type thing. But they gave up a lottery protected first, so I think it was worth it to go for it. I would like a little take from Kyle on his Bucks. We don't get much Bucks talk.
So they're starting to put some stuff together here. They're on a 7-3 in their last 10. Points per game are starting to climb up. They're starting to look kind of like themselves. And I think at this point, what you're seeing from the Bucks is it's just kind of everything slowly, everything's slowly on track here. We're still missing a big center like Brook Lopez, but we got Dante DiVincenzo working back into the offense for about 20 minutes. So that's been kind of fun. The bench is kind of just getting tougher. I don't know when Greg Monroe snuck on the Milwaukee Bucks here, but he did play a game for us. So like there's an effort to get a big back into this. They dabbled with what's his name, DeMarcus Cousins for a little bit this year. They signed Monroe here, so I'm curious. I wouldn't be opposed to them making a move and trading for a center because Lopez has a back injury and that just scares me. So we need a defensive. Bobby Portis is not going to get it done. Bobby's a fun, energetic player for sure, but we need someone that can kind of lock down the 5 spot. So the Bucks are kind of just an idle right now. George Hill, don't know what's up with him. We'll see him get back.
Make a little side move or something.
Yeah, they need
Mason
that.
Plumlee's on the Bucks. What?
That might be old news. Where are you looking? Where are you seeing that?
Keep going down.
Yeah, so if he's not getting minutes,
Marshall.
You see the third. The neglected son here, the cousin. He's the cousin Plumlee. I don't know, the less handsome of the Plumlees. But the Bucks are interesting. Again, they're kind of they're finding new ways to play the game, and it's fun. But I guess they added Wesley Matthews, which is a nice piece. Just kind of the PJ Tucker toughness. But we need one more piece or two. They're close, but.
Wait for some maybe they sneak someone in on the trade deadline or they wait for some buyout opportunities.
Yeah, and it's that's what's cool about doing this show tonight. It's Tuesday night. We have 2 more days of this, so I think Thursday night we'll see something. But even if they wanted to commit to Greg Monroe, okay, let's do it. Let's give him a contract for the rest of the season. Let's bring back Cousins. Let's commit to somebody being the center and seeing what can happen. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what they need. But so far, like it's kind of funny. Like they're the second seed, and it's kind of like whatever. Like we're fine. Like it's nothing really happening. So
that's like the advantage of having the Giannis type player.
It's our meter.
Let's see in the playoffs.
Yeah, our meter does not really move. I've never been less interested in the Bucks regular season. Like, yeah, it was fun. Like when we only lost like 10 times that one time and then got blown out in the first round. Like it was fun. It was a fun regular season. But they know what the prize is. They know how to get there. So that it just kind of feels like we're just roller skating through the park. So a lot of fun. Any final thoughts before we get out of here for tonight? I'll let you get out of here. Let's go watch some basketball. The Bucks Lakers tonight. I'm going to be watching that, so I'm excited about that.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I got going on.
No final thoughts for me. I think we hit it all pretty well, and I look forward to hearing what Thursday brings for year and a half.
Yeah, you can pop in the chat room if you want to see what's good. I'll throw in the link there. So that's going to do it for tonight's episode. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you on Thursday night. We'll see Drake next Tuesday or Thursday. We'll figure it out at some point. But take it easy. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with us. Peace.